Shri Tiruchi Shiva.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chairperson. See, a budget is not merely a statement of accounts, but it is a statement of intent. The budget reveals the priorities of the government, and the priorities show the real governance of today. Our Prime Minister has described this budget as a roadmap to Viksit Bharat. Am I right? Viksit Bharat. I don't. No, the word Viksit Bharat means developed India. But the numbers show very well that the path seems only a mirage. There are so many reasons to explain that. For example, the union budget was presented as a proclamation of progress, but conveniently hiding the realities in the ground of stagnant growth, growing inequality, and a sizable demographic dividend slipping off the fingers into a demographic disaster. This government's economic policies have always enriched the privileged few, leaving behind a lot of the section of the people into joblessness, inflation, and shrinking opportunities. We have got many things to say about that. Before that, the finance minister was prized highly by the chairman, that she has presented continuously 8 budgets. But what is the progress? The graph, instead of going up, is dipping down. I would like to recall what all she has told from 2019. In 2019, she, when presenting the budget, was quoting from Purananuru, which is an advice to a Pandya king, Arivudai Nambi. I don't want to take the Tamil and consume my time. In English, it says that a few mounds of rice from paddy that is harvested from a small piece of land would suffice for an elephant. But what if the elephant itself enters the field and starts eating? What it eats would be far lesser than what it would trample over. This is the version of the Honorable Finance Minister quoting Purananuru from Sangam literature. But now we experience that the union government, the elephant, the union government is trampling upon the state's fields which have cherished very much. I will substantiate why I am telling all these things. There are, of course, there are ample evidences. And second, in 2020, that was in 2019 Purananuru, and in 2020, she quoted Thirukkural. Pini inmai selvam velaivinbam aniyanba naatil vaindu. In English, the country's 5 jewels are unfailing health, farm productivity, joy, good defense, and wealth. Any person who accepts anything in reality will say what is the development today after these budgets presented by her or by this government. Unfailing health, we are treading behind. Farm productivity, why 1 lakh tractors are waiting outside the borders of Delhi? If they are contented and if productivity is more or if they are given more, it would not have happened. So also wealth. And 2021, she quoted another Thirukkural. Iyattalum, Eattalum, Kaathalum, Kaatha Vagathalum, Valladu Arasu. A good king is one who is able to acquire wealth, guard it, and distribute it justly. That is it. Of course, you collect revenues, you guard it, but whether it is distributed justly to all the people equally in this country means no. As I said earlier, it enriched the privileged few and deserted the people who are in this country in the lower rung. That's what my senior colleague, Mr. Chidambaram, told here, when only 1% of this population are enjoying or controlling 22.6% of the income, and wealth is 40.1%. 1% of our population controls 40.1% of wealth and enjoying 22.6% of the income. Whereas the poor people at the bottom level, 50%, they are only getting 15% of the income and 6.4% of the wealth. This is totally disproportionate. Only the finance minister has to explain all these things. And in the 2025, she has said that as the living beings look upon the sky for rains, the citizens look upon the government for good governance. Yes, they are looking upon, but no good governance. These are all mere not allegations. What is happening is partisan approach of this government. For example, if a woman is going to buy some flowers from a woman who is selling on the roadside, she will measure it with her hands. But if the customer is regular and well known to her, you can measure it with your own hands. Because the seller's hand must be small, may be small. Like that, when they have a yardstick, they have a yardstick for the states which are ruled by the ruling party, and they have a smaller yardstick for those states which are ruled by the opposition party. They have to explain that. These are all not just allegations. There are ample evidences. My state, Tamil Nadu, being this a council of states and I represent the state of Tamil Nadu, before going into the larger issues and the greater implications, I have to mention something about my state, what all we are suffering, though we perform very well. The Tamil Nadu government is contributing to the GDP of this country 9.04%. And what we are getting by way of devolution is 4.08%. The 14th Finance Commission recommended for 42% tax devolution. The 15th person for reduced it to 41%, but actually it is only 32%. Even not that. That's what I say. When we contribute 9.04% to the GDP, we are given back only 4.08%. I have no grudges with any other person from the state, except for the way of statistics I have to tell. The Uttar Pradesh government contributes 8.19% to the GDP, but they are getting 17.94% of devolution. What is the rationale? Bihar, please. I say I have no grudges against your state, but what is happening, we have to elucidate. Bihar, GDP contribution is 2.87%, but is getting 10.08%. We give more, not even we get half of it. Why this discrimination? Why this partisan attitude? The finance minister has to enlighten us with the rationale behind this, what I call as victimization or discrimination, just because we are ruling, the opposition are ruling. But despite that, we are doing very well, better than the union government. We can say that with head strong. It's not just a statement. The union government's allocation to education, as again our senior colleague who initiated, the former finance minister, he mentioned about Make in India. In the year 2015, lofty proclamations about Make in India was made by the Prime Minister. At the same time, Make in China was proclaimed in China. And in 2025, the recently elected President of USA, Donald Trump, has said, Make in America. This is in 2025. As soon as he assumed power, he addressed a conference of the international investors. In that, he told, you are all manufacturing from outside America and making America a market. Hereafter, you should make everything in America, then only you will be given the benefits, or else I will be taxing you very heavily, which you cannot tolerate. This is a way of coercion, or any way he is approaching that the revenue of the status of economic position of America should improve, make in America. What happened to 2015 proclamation of India and China? China has reached this target. India has not. Why? Because the basic things which a nation needs is education, healthcare, infrastructure. Everything has been achieved by China. But here what happens is very poor, it has to be admitted. The union government is allocating only 2.5% of total expenditure to education. That is 1,20,628 crore. My state, Tamil Nadu government, we are allocating 49,700, that is 13.6% of our total expenditure. What Tamil Nadu government is spending towards education is 40% of the total allocation by the union government to the entire country. Ours is 13.6%. And this year it is 13.17%. So also health care. The union government allocation is 1.89%. See, India is the thickest populated country. And what America does not have, we have is the youth population. America may have very good education, might have very good infrastructure, but they don't have the youth force as we are having. We are having 64% of our population as youth force. How you are going to utilize that? Because they are suffering because of unemployment. And healthcare is very much important, because the last rung of the people who work and who don't get anything. What is the reality? The income tax slab, which Madam Finance Minister has announced, that up to 12 lakh it will be exempted. I don't want to go into it. How many are the beneficiaries? Only 1 crore. 1 crore of the people are benefited. We have nothing against it. Let them enjoy it. But what about the remaining 139 crore of the people? And especially another thing. The EWS, which the government is very much proud of, economically weaker section, the slab is 8 lakh rupees per year. That is 75,000 per month. And if the residential area they are living is below 1,000 square foot and below 5 acres of land. 5 acres of land and 1,000 square foot of residential flat or anything which they live, and 8 lakh rupees is the slab for economically weaker section people. Leave that alone. But what does the BPL slab shows? I am not creating anything on my own. All the learned members here know that very well. Those who live in the urban area, if their income is below 37, they come under BPL. And in the rural area, it is 9 rupees. A person who is not able to earn even 1,000 rupees a month is considered as BPL. But a person earning 8 lakh will be considered, that is different. But they need basically education for their children and health care. This government is allocating only 1.89% of its total expenditure to health care, whereas my state, Tamil Nadu government, is spending 5.8% of the total expenditure. What I am telling about Tamil Nadu is the Dravidian model of government by Mr. M.K. Stalin. What I am telling about the union government is Modi's form of government. The billionaires are increasing. In this 1 year, many will be surprised, not shocked because this is happening. 75% have added up to the billionaires list in our country. It's going up and up. How they are, that means what is happening actually? Billionaires are increasing, whereas the basic needs of the people are not fulfilled. And very important statistics, when I say that that, yes, every 5 days, one billionaire is coming out up successfully. Millionaire or billionaire. Numbers are increasing. Every 5 days, India sees a person becoming a millionaire. At the same time, I have some other statistics. There are two different views. You see a very high building, a millionaire is living. On the other side, the rape cases in India, daily average, approximately 87 cases per day. And murder cases, approximately 78 cases per day. Farmer suicides, approximately 31 cases. I shall come to you. I'll come, my dear brother, Mr. Murugan, I'll come to your point. I know what you are telling. Wait. Thanks you intervened. Thanks you interrupted and I got a point. That's different. Please, I have a very good statistics. Farmer suicide, approximately 31 cases per day. Unemployment-related suicides, approximately 9 cases per day. Human traffic cases is approximately 6 cases per day. Dalit atrocities, approximately 141 cases per day. Student suicides, approximately 36 cases per day. And cyber crimes, approximately 180 cases per day. There are two different views. One side, the rich are becoming richer. The other side, the poor are becoming poorer. And this is the real stage of this country. And he said that, what about Tamil Nadu? I am telling about Tamil Nadu only. Tamil Nadu is performing so well. See, the national average of enrollment in higher education. See, as you have presented a budget with statistics, I am also speaking on statistics. Enrollment of students in higher education, national average is 27%. And Tamil Nadu is 47%. And what is it we are getting? What is it we are getting? The UGC is used by the union government to suppress the state governments. The colleges, the universities are within the purview of the state, the jurisdiction. The land belongs to the states. The building structures, everything spent by the states. The teachers who are working there, they are also the salaries are given by the government, state government. And the students' concession and everything that is given, scholarship, everything is given by the state government. But the UGC, crossing its jurisdiction, has recently given some guidelines that the vice chancellors of those universities will be selected by a panel headed by the governor of the state and the members appointed by the UGC. No. What does the state government role has? You have to tell that. See, everything is ours. That is because we are maintaining the government and we are looking after education, though it is in the concurrent list. Our enrollment is 47%, but you want to indirectly bring inside your person by a select committee headed by the governor, who is always against governments which are ruled by state governments. Whatever the people is in need of, if the state government enacts a law, that too also will not be given assent by the governor, and he will act extrajudicial activities, official things. But he will be heading the search committee and the members will be appointed by the UGC. What will happen? There is a stiff opposition, but nobody listens. Why this is happening is, indirectly, the union government is encroaching into the powers of the states. Yes. They are transgressing. They are snatching the powers of the states, each and every manner. This is not the way. Yes. This is not the way for reforming education. Comparatively, wherever you are ruling and wherever all these things are being said, everything is very low, but Tamil Nadu is doing very well, but we are being victimized. In this budget, we had, of course, very sad observation. Our Honorable Finance Minister also belongs to Tamil Nadu. That's why she quoted Purnanuru and Tirukkural. I can also, but I am not in a position, we are only looking at the union government. We feel that we are in the Union of India. We are a state in the Indian Union, but the union government does not recognize us so. You talk much about infrastructure, and we are asking metro projects. As he said, time is ours, and we will adjust. Kindly don't interrupt. The metro projects for Coimbatore and Madurai, which has been demanded by the state government, has not been mentioned in the budget. And so many road highways which we have asked for has not found a place in this. And centrally sponsored schemes like Manarega, earlier it was 75-25, now it is 60-40. The state has spent its due share, but the center has not given its share. So also SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. I don't know, the meaning is different. SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. And even in that, the states are not being given the due share from the union. You know why? The states are not implementing the NEP. See, it is the state government's choice whether to accept a policy which is to the convenience of the union government. And we are saying that we have got our own new education policy. We have constituted a committee that would come out. But it says that if you don't adopt NEP, you won't be given your due share. Like UGC says, if the state doesn't abide by the guidelines of the University Grants Commission, the universities cannot award degrees to the students. How strange. Who are there to dictate? Who are there to dictate universities that you can? And surprisingly, ma'am, you yourself will say what is right or wrong. The vice chancellors to be in the universities need not have an academic background. They need not have been a professor, a tutor, an assistant professor, or anything. Any person from outside will come and head the university, and he will decide the curriculum. He will be getting the colleges. What is it? Authoritarian to the extreme is in every sector. That's why, as I said, UGC, so also the schools are victimized, that we are not entitled to have this SSA due from the center share. So also disaster relief. There were two cyclones, the Fenjam and the Minjam. So two cyclones. Tamil Nadu suffered a lot, and we have been asking for a relief measure of 30,000 crore from the union government. I also raised it during the 0 hour, and at that time I have received a reply from the Home Ministry saying that the state could give from the SDRF. It is beyond that. It exceeds the SDRF limits. And what does the NDRF is for? They give only lame excuses. Members from all the parties with conscience tell us, we asked for 30,000 crore rupees, but we were given only 267 crore. What is it? We have to undertake so many things that have been damaged during the cyclone. Infrastructure. People have to be brought back to normalcy. For that, the states are spending, whereas the union government stays off and say, we don't have anything. So in this way, disaster relief is not being compensated properly. The SSA, we are being victimized. The Manarega scheme, we don't get what we want. The road projects which we ask, we are not getting. And also, the devolution of taxes is also not in the due manner or rational manner to my state. Ma'am, what is happening in my country? As I said earlier, at one side it is very much we see richer people. On the other side, very important ministry is the MSME. Because the MSME is the largest employment provider next to the agriculture. And moreover, as per the budget of the finance minister, it is 7.5 crore who are getting employment. 36% of the manufacturing of this country is by MSME. 45% of the exports of this country is from MSME. But what is the support this government is extending to MSME? In the banks, when they go for PMEGP, every bank has a different rate of interest. The topmost bank, which is very closer by the person who is going to be an entrepreneur, it charges the highest. But they do not know. They cannot classify. They want that. And surprisingly, what I noticed in this budget is it is enhancing the limits of the MSME. Micro enterprises, currently it is 1 crore rupee. It will be enhanced to 2.5 crore and the turnover to 10 crore rupees. Small enterprises from 10 crore to 25 investment and turnover 50 crore to 100 crore. And medium enterprises 50 to 125 investment, 250 to 500 crore. My dear colleagues, please tell me, what is a micro enterprise? MSME people who are in just for 5 lakhs, just getting a 5 lakh loan, a woman is running something, doing some business which gets gives an employment to 7 persons, 2 from the same family and 5 from that village. So giving more loans and showing that we have given that much, you have to give to more number of persons and generate employment. That is the purpose of the MSME. For example, a shopkeeper, at the time when he closes his shop, he won't come and check how much collection is there. He will see how many bills have been given, how many persons have entered his shop. That means he is bothered about the number of customers than the collection. In a mall, the customers will be very less. In a shop, in a multinational brand company, and the collection will be very much. But at the same time, ordinary textiles in our bazaar will have a lot of people. The collection will not be even half of that collected in a mall. So, which is a necessary means, you have to help the MSMEs, that too the poorest people, to have more entrepreneurs, enterprises, and that way you can generate more employment. And this year, very surprisingly, again the income tax slab everyone is praising about, the collection of taxes, direct taxes, 56.78% is from personal income tax. And the corporate tax has come down. The income tax, direct taxes is 56.78%, out of which 53.3% is from ordinary people. What you have done to these ordinary people, instead of that, you have favoring the corporates. And indirect taxes is the remaining 42.68 or something. And the indirect taxes mostly constitute the GST. And the GST this year mainly constitute, the indirect taxes constitute 83% of indirect taxes. 83% of the indirect taxes is from GST. That is what, again, our former finance minister told here. What are you doing with that? Why don't you cut down the GST? Every person, even an auto driver, even a farmer, even a laborer in a farm, they are paying GST. Income tax is given by some other people, middle class or upper middle class or anything. Every individual is paying GST. Why don't you cut down that? Have you cut down the excise duty of petroleum products, as he said? That would have benefited the lot in the nation. But you have not done so. You are not doing anything to the common man. You don't have them in focus. You are making a micro enterprises into a mini corporate. How can a 250 crore turnover is called as 50 crore turnover is called as a micro enterprises? MSME is not able to market. That's why the government has a scheme, PPP, the public sectors have to procure from the MSMEs. 25% of their purchase should be from the MSMEs. In that, there is a slab, subquota of 4% to the women and 3%, 4% to SC/ST and 3% women. That has not yet been reached. We have been telling, why don't you include OBC also in that? But though there is an allocation, a reservation, a sub-quota, but it is not achieved, they are not able to market it. What are the devices you have for the MSE products to be marketed? How will you control the interest rates equally? You can prevail upon the RBI. You can say that the repo rate or anything of that sort. But an ordinary person who goes to a bank, the nearby bank, should not be taxed or in a manner of the interest verification. So in that way, the MSME, again I say, the largest employment provider has to be taken care of. But you are trying to make it again a corporate. The indirect taxes, the GST is going up and up. I don't have, rather I cannot say everything in this very short time, that what are the GST, which is more, which is lesser. And everything is contradictory, which affects the common man. You have taken away all the revenue rights of the state governments and it has been subsumed into the GST, but do you compensate that? You collect GST compensation cess, you collect surcharge for welfare schemes. These surcharges and cess are not in the divisible pools. So you are getting more money by way of another way, shortcut way, by way of cess and surcharge, and the union government is keeping that even not without sharing with the state governments. So the last person is paying, but the state governments are not benefited. So I have got much more to say, but as again to say, the one more thing, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, PMAY. Even in that, the state government, my government, is spending 6 lakhs rupees for a house. The union government is giving only 1.5. Even that is not being given. PMAY rural and PMAY urban. So also the Jal Jeevan Mission. What was the estimate last time? Budget estimate was 67,000. But actuals were revised was 22,000. And this year again say 70,160. When you have not achieved the target you fixed the earlier year, you are giving rosy pictures. So it is only the numbers that attract the people. Again, ma'am, I would like to conclude with one thing. Whenever a budget is presented, everyone is looking. Stock market is stumbling. The middle class people are relying upon the stock markets. The poor people are expecting whether the prices would come down. Prices are going up. Wealth inequality, unequitable distribution of wealth, Pramodji. Unequitable distribution of wealth. And in such a situation, they are all disappointed. We are not speaking anything ill or ill will towards against any individual. The government of the day, which has to take care of the people, is not taking care of that. So, you have to mend your ways, or else the people will end your days. Thank you very much.